Honda Beach United Church. I'm so glad you've joined us. We've got extra singers this morning, and this is wonderful. I'm Reverend Greg Daly. I'm the minister here, and we're so glad you've joined us. For those who are joining us by live stream, we've come a bit, we're starting a few minutes early. I see there's more people arriving. You're not late. We just started early, so that's all right. In great United Church fashion, we'll all sort of show up. But let's join together in our call to worship, and it's all printed in the bulletin. If you don't have a bulletin, there's Frank handing them out at the back. Here, we're gathered to worship, but today we have some special and exciting guests, the animals that we love and care for. Let us worship with barks and mews and calls and squeaks. Bless our time together in this circle of love. With tails thumping and ears flapping, let our hearts sing like the lark and soar like the eagle as we rejoice in this amazing creation. Let us worship all things together. And as we worship, we take time to acknowledge this sacred land. It has been a site of human activity for thousands of years. The home of the Huron-Wendat and the Petun First Nations, the Seneca and the Mississaugas of the Credit. We're grateful for the care of the land that has been shown over centuries by these communities. Now it is our time, under the guidance and leadership of Indigenous partners, to also care for creation. And this is the work of reconciliation, seeking to be mindful of broken covenants and striving to make right with all our relations. Welcome. We are going to sing again. The music today will have themes of nature and animals in it. You hopefully, if you're not familiar with it, our choir will help lead us in the conversation. We're glad you've joined us. Let's sing The Spring Is Coming. As I said, just stay seated today. We'll make it simple for everyone.
The spring has come, let all the church be part of it. The world has changed and God is at the heart of it. New light, new day, new color after winter gray. New light, new day, the spring has come, let all the church be part of it. The sun is warm, let all God's children play in it. The world expands, let's spread the gospel way in it. New leaf, new thrust, new greening for the love of Christ. New leaf, new thrust, the sun is warm, let all God's children play in it. The spring has come, new people are the flowers of it. Through wind and rain, new life is in the showers of it. New bud, new shoot, new hope will bear the Spirit's fruit. New bud, new shoot, the spring has come, new people are the flowers of it.
I'm so glad that people have come with their beloved families, their extended and integral parts of their families. Let's share in a prayer for grace for us and for our pet family. May the work of peace be ever on our minds. Even where there's hatred, cubs and kittens still play. Even where there's injury, the eagles still soar. Even where there's despair, the morning is greeted with song. Even where there is darkness, burrows, dens, and nests bring safe sleep. Even where there's sadness, the whales and dolphins leap up to the sky. May we seek not so much to dominate as to live in peace with all God's creatures. Amen. So each week I do something, I call it, and now for something completely different. It's really different today. We got all kinds of different sort of things happening, and we have a table that's set up for children today. And there's also some activities and crafts and things that'll be indoors right after this if the kids want to go and enjoy that. Earlier on, we had a couple of folks, William and Soren, were putting together some Lego, and we're making this Lego as part of our affirming journey that we'll be celebrating on June the 4th. But all these different colors of people, you see all the different colors of people? Yeah. And so does, and then what's this little one's name? Chewy. Hi, Chewy. So all these different people, what does that say to you? Different people are all different types and shapes and different kinds of hair, but everybody's important, just like our animals. They're all different shapes and sizes and colors and breeds. Who's this?
Major dichotomy button splint.
Oh my goodness, this is Major Dichotomy Button Splint. Of course it is. Thank you for being here, Major Dichotomy Button Splint. Dichotomy, of course. Even more. Tommy. As we think of our lives, and I'm just going to call it out, and if you have something you want to share, maybe it's about your own pet, maybe it's about a friend's pet, they're all here, but what do pets bring to our lives? Anybody want to share?
Love.
Soren, you tell me. Joy. Comfort. Love.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. You have the big U.
Companionship.
Exercise.
Companionship. Exercise. Sorry? All right, I'm hearing all kinds of things. This is great. And so we all have memories of our own pets, of other people's pets. But no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, as children, as young dogs and cats, as older dogs and cats, how many paws you have, how many claws you have, you are created by God. You're welcome here. And today, in the tradition of St. Francis of Assisi, we celebrate animals, wild and tame, because they make our lives richer just because of their presence. And you are just adorable because you're just like so engaged with me. Hi. Because we're both in black. That's why. So if you'd like to join, Bruce is going to lead some crafts and activities inside. Feel free to stay with your families if you want, but or if you want to take inside. But we're going to have a couple of things happen, and then we're going to actually do the blessing, and all the kids will come back out for the actual blessing part. So there we go. And I see, Fraser, you're wearing your Dalmatian hat today, so you are being a dog. Ruff, ruff. Okay, have fun. We're going to sing again this morning. It's a song of praise to the Maker. Just stay seated.
It's a song of praise to the Maker. The thrush sings high in the tree. It's a song of praise to the Maker. The gray whale sings in the sea. And by the Spirit, you and I can join our voice to the holy cry and sing, sing, sing to the Maker too. It's a hymn of love to the lover. The bumblebees hum along. It's a hymn of love to the lover. The summer breeze joins the song, and by the Spirit and sing, sing, sing to the Maker tune. It's the chorus of all creation. It's sung by all living things. It's the chorus of all creation, a song the universe sings. And by the Spirit, you and I can join our voices to the holy cry and sing, sing, sing to the Maker tune.
Thanks, everyone. I'm really enjoying the echo. I can hear you all resonating. Hopefully everybody at home's catching it all. We only have one mic for folks. We were really glad to be able to set the live stream up outside. So thanks in there, Fish, for doing all of that. It's great. Let's share in a bit of time of reading and conversation, and I'll start with prayer. Help us, God, to come to you with open lives to receive your words. May we give them new life as we listen to what you have to say. Open our hearts as we embark on this journey with each other and with you. The reading that I've chosen this morning is a bit different from what we might otherwise use. Often we're using different scriptural references. I'm using something that comes from the Apocrypha, which is the Catholic version of the Bible, which has some different books that many Protestant denominations don't use. And this is from the book of Tobit, and it will become very apparent why I've chosen this book in a second. Tobit called his son and said to him, "My son, prepare everything you need for your journey and set out with your kinsmen. May God in heaven protect you on your journey there and return you to me safe and sound, and may his angel accompany you and ensure your safety, my son." Now there's some other conversation. Tobias's mother is really worried that, dad's sending son off on this journey. But the dad says this, "Don't worry. Our son will depart from us in good health and will return to us in good health. Your eyes will see him on the day when he returns to you safe and sound. So banish such thoughts. Don't be concerned about them, my sister. A good angel will accompany them. The journey will be successful. They will return to us safe and sound." And so she stopped weeping. And then the youth left together with the angel, and the dog followed them out of the house and accompanied them. So what ensues in the book of Tobit is really a fairy tale-like story of exploration and adventure and challenge that we're going to unpack a little later. But Tobiah realizes that after some time he's been sidetracked from his original quest, and he's literally gone off. He's got married. All kinds of stuff has happened. He hasn't gone home yet. But he's speaking with his new father-in-law and says, "I beseech you, Father, that you allow me to return home to my father Tobit. I've already explained to you the condition I left him in." And the father-in-law replied, "My child, stay with me, and I'll send messengers to your father and give him news of you." But Tobiah insisted, "No, I beg you, let me return to my family." And so, as he returned, he was traveling, and he neared a place called Casarin, which is close to Nineveh. That's where Tobiah was from. And Raphael, some you may know, Raphael, the archangel, said, "You know your father's condition when we departed. Let us hurry on ahead of your wife and prepare the house while she and the others journey on after us." And as they went together, Raphael said to Tobiah, "Have some fish gall ready at hand." And the dog followed them. That's our reading for today. Stephen's going to share some music. Yeah. Awesome. So, I called this sermon "And the Dog Followed Them." Clearly, the story from the book of Tobit. Now, it's, as I said, it's only in the biblical readings in Tobit that we ever hear of this archangel Raphael. And interestingly, the name Raphael comes from Hebrew words and literally means God heals. And it's also the only time in all of biblical stories where there is a domesticated dog. Dogs show up in lots of places in the Bible, but often with unusual stories and often about, wild dogs, stray dogs, all those things. So in this story, we have a quest, we have miraculous healing, we have weddings, all of them offering insight into how the Creator works in the world. Tobit's also one of the books, as I said, that's not part of Protestant traditions. And I really think that's too bad because it doesn't form part of our regular reading cycles, which is why I inserted it here. It really is a wonderful story. Tobit's son, Tobiah, sets off on a quest in the company of an angel disguised as a human. We'll come back to that. And a dog. In the end, I said, Tobiah gets married, saves one of his parents, escapes annihilation. It could be the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, right? Doesn't get any better than that. So let me offer you just a summary of the whole story. Tobit, who's a devout and wealthy Israelite, lives among the captives, people who had been exiled from Israel to Nineveh, and the family suffers all kinds of reversals of fortune, including loss of sight. And because of these misfortunes, Tobit begs God to let him die. Then he remembers, I had some money in the bank off in Media, and so he sends Tobiah to bring back the money. It's kind of like that Canada savings bond that you find in a drawer that, it's 30 years old. But in an interesting twist, in Media at the same time, there's this young woman, Sarah. And Sarah also prays for death. As I tell you, it's a fairy tale story. She's lost 7 husbands, all of them killed on their wedding night by a demon. Okay. You're beginning to understand why I consider this an allegory and why it might make an interesting film. God hears the prayers of Tobit and Sarah, sends the angel Raphael disguised in human form to aid them. So Raphael makes the trip to Media with Tobiah. And interestingly, Tobiah is attacked by this large fish, kind of Jonah and the whale-ish, but he bathes in the Tigris River. Raphael says, grab this fish, take its gall, take its heart, take its liver, and use those for medicine later. Interesting. So, Tobiah marries Sarah, uses part of the fish to stave off the demons on their wedding night. Where is Steven Spielberg when you need him, right? So he returns to Nineveh with a spouse and his father's money. His father is blind by this point. He rubs some fish gall in his father's eyes. His father gets his sight back. Then the archangel Raphael reveals his true identity. And Tobit utters this beautiful hymn of praise. I encourage all of you to go and read this book and understand it a little bit interestingly. So that's a lot, and we haven't even talked about the dog yet, right? It's a crucial part, really, because all the reading tells us is the dog took itself along on the quest. Those of you with dogs are not surprised. We're not sure in this story, because it's a bit vague here. Is this Tobit's dog? Is this the angel's dog? It could actually just be a stray dog that was happy to join them, but clearly domesticated, because twice in the story we hear the dog went along with them. So some people have speculated that the dog is an angel in canine form. And that's a notion I'm sure that would resonate with, many of you here, right, Willow? Yes, thank you. You're my poster child today. But the appearance of this sort of lone canine companion is significant. In other instances, dogs are usually described with less glowing characteristics, not their loyalty or their companionship. And this dog and its relationship to Tobiah is actually cited as one of the reasons why a traditional name for a dog is Toby. Lots of dogs named Toby. And that's apparently where that comes from. But before each of the journeys, both the leaving and the returning, in the story there's a blessing that's offered. And the language of the blessing is interesting because it's a plural blessing. And it's an offering of angel accompaniment. That's the blessing. You will have an accompanying angel. So we know that the angel's an angel, but how does Tobit, the father, saying, I offer you an angel to accompany you, when all he sees is two guys and a dog? Dare we say that the dog was the angel? Indeed, the original language viewing the dog as the answer to Tobit's prayers to God makes sense, because the dog only shows up after the prayer saying, please accompany us with an angel. So in this story of prayers and God's provision of companions, the presence of a tail-wagging angel. Hi, sweetie. Yes, I knew. Right on cue, you wagged your tail, right? Makes perfect sense, and I suspect resonates with you as well. Our animal companions offer us all the things we talked about earlier: joy, love, faithfulness, companionship, exercise. They are angels in our lives. And the story of Tobit and family speaks to me of that kind of faithfulness. And it's the faithfulness of the characters to each other and to God, and the dog is faithful to all of them. It's a reminder that you never know when you could have an angel walking right beside you. Let's sing. We were singing a verse, and chorus and 2 verses, and some of us were singing verses at choruses, and some of us were singing chorus and verses.
But it all worked out.
It all worked out. This is good. And we'll follow it up in our prayers. As you can see, we're going to pray together, and every time you hear me say all things bright and beautiful, you have a response. Let's pray. Creator God, for your creation, we give you thanks. We hear the hum of tiny insect wings and the skitter of insect legs and the slither of snakes and slugs. And we admit sometimes these things scare us, but we know they're part of our planet's delicate balance, and we give thanks for creation's diversity and richness. All things bright and beautiful. God made them one and all. We hear the chirps and the trills of songbirds, the cardinals, the red-winged blackbirds, the predatory cries of hawks and falcons, sometimes the annoying caw of a seagull or a crow. We find some creatures' habits annoying, but we marvel at their ability to fly so freely. All things bright and beautiful.
God made them one and all.
We hear the soft rustle of rabbits and squirrels and raccoons in the bushes and the leaves. They're all cute from a distance, but they can annoy us when they encroach on our lawns and our gardens and our chimneys, but we know they're part of your creation. All things bright and beautiful. God made them one and all. And we listen for the animal sounds that have vanished, and we ask for your forgiveness in our role for their demise. For all the times we've hurt or neglected animals, or destroyed their homes in the forests or oceans or fields, we're sorry. All things bright and beautiful. God made them one and all. God, Creator, we listen and hear your voice in the crow's cry, in the cat's purr, in the elephant's bellow, and the donkey's bray. Help us to love all creatures as our kin, all animals as our partners on earth, all birds as messengers of praise, all frogs as voices of hope. And making that happen. And you know, we were sort of keeping count, and with all the folks that came yesterday, there were over 500 people in the church yesterday over the day. Lots of great activities and lots of folks who are interested in carrying that tradition forward. So we're grateful for that. There are lots of things happening here, and you can always go to beachunitedchurch.com to find out more. We have an organ concert coming up on May the 20th. We have a wonderful event helping us to engage the important link between art and healthy minds. We have a behavioral neurologist that's coming Saturday, June the 3rd, to lead us in a workshop there with some music. We'll have children's crafts and programming, and other ways to give. Thank you for supporting the work of this place with all you do. Let's sing our response, Each Blade of Grass.
Across a distant shore, make full the circle of God. Each laughing child, every gentle eye, a forest thick beneath the moonbright sky, make full the circle of God. Each silent paw, every rounded scum, a buzz that echoes from a honeyed comb, make full the circle of God. Each vibrant star, every outstretched hand, a wind that leaps and sails across the land, make full the circle of God. Every icy peak, every patterned shell, a joyous chorus that the dawn foretells, make full the circle of God. Each cosmic hue, every creature's way, all form the beauty of this vast array, make full the circle of God.
So in a few minutes, we're going to bless our animals. I just want us to think a bit about blessing. We don't bring our companion thanks and say thanks to them and to God. We know the blessing of a wagging tail every time we return home. It's funny, I'm emotional today because I don't have a dog right at the moment, and I'm loving all this. I have had dogs in my life, and so I'm missing that right now. It's interesting. The blessing of the whiskers twitching. I've had lots of pets. Some of you don't know this. I've had, many, many cats. I had 13 cats all at once. I had a farm. I've had horses. I've had donkeys. I've had sheep. I've had rabbits, dogs, cats, fish, cockatiels, macaws, blue and gold macaws. I've had a lot of animals and pets in my life. And they've been a blessing and a challenge. But we know that blessing of a little nose that nudges us for a treat, of the playfulness, and of the responsibility to care and to feed and to love something that cannot speak words to us in ways that we always understand, but certainly speaks to our hearts. So we come to say thanks. We want to bring a safe harbor to creatures that are losing their homes because of overdevelopment, because of changes to land and resources. We want to protect fragile ecosystems. We want to protect our beaches. They're home to rich biodiversity, and we want to ensure that no more creatures pass to extinction because we've made it impossible for them to adapt. Right, Willow? You tell them, right? So we come today to be a blessing. And we're going to share these words of thanksgiving. I invite you to place your own hand on your animal you love. It could be a photo. It could be Paco. Soren, where's Paco?
He's sitting over there.
Okay.
She's allergic to this.
Oh, my goodness. So let's express our thanks. For all the animals in creation, we give thanks. For all the fun and friendship we have with our animals, we give thanks. And for these animals we love, we give thanks. So I don't know how we're going to do this. If people want to come forward, if you want me to come to you, but we are going to bless your animals. So I know I have treats. We don't necessarily have to have treats while we do the blessing. But maybe what I'll do is, if you're in the middle, I might have you come to the edge, but I'm just going to come around and I'm going to bless each of your pets. So,
Greg, if I may just interject for a moment, I have something to share with you. I am truly blessed. I have a big pond where I have a place in the country, and I have a pet fish. People think I'm nuts, but I will show that fish to anybody, and I would ask you to bless Jonah.
Okay.
Big, wide mouth.
Of course.
And he's about 2 to 5 pounds. So,
Okay.
thank you.
We will bless Jonah too. Okay. I'm going to start this way and work my way around. So, here. You are a blessing. May you be safe and well loved all of your life. And this is for Paco, and you're crying.
Take a picture. See her? Yeah, I want to take a picture too.
That little dichotomy. So he. Here. Okay, that's all right. Okay, Willow, now's the big moment. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, you're adorable. Thanks so much for being such a good girl and for singing with us today. And may you be blessed and loved and safe for your whole life. Okay. Well, that was lovely. Thank you for sharing your family with us today. And as we depart, we're going to sing a closing hymn. As we go, I have a quote for you from Dostoevsky, no less. Love all God's creation, the whole of it, and every grain of sand in it. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love the animals, love the plants, love everything. If you love everything, you will perceive the divine mystery in things. And once you perceive it, you will begin to comprehend it better every day. And you will come at last to love the whole world with an all-embracing love. So friends, go in peace with the gentle wisdom of God to care for all of God's creatures with feathers, paws, furs, tail, all those things with grateful hearts and loving hands. Amen. And we will sing our closing. everyone for being here. We're going to have coffee and treats and things, so stick around if you'd like. There's lots of treats up here. Just come and take some treats for your little ones, if that makes sense. And thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to have you.
Thanks. I thought you were going to offer us the leftover
Oh, yeah.
chicken
These
treats.
can be reconstituted. They're very Nassau friendly. It's